right. We should be green, and I think we're live streaming, Doc. So what's up, man? I wonder if
Well, I
anybody's gonna. I
can't.
wonder if anybody's gonna join us for our
I don't
test.
know. I don't. Man, I can't tell you how excited slash what the fuck I am to
We're
to
we're we're,
watch
we're on
Raw.
YouTube. Can you political commentary? What the f that stuff? Can you
Oh,
maybe not? Yeah.
well, I'm just pleased as punch to be watching Monday Night Raw on Monday night for three full, solid, steaming crap hours of sports entertainment. Um, So this is our little test to make sure we can pull this off. I got a question for you. Hey, do you remember not too long ago you and I were talking about spray on hair?
That infomercial. Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of spray on hair, what's your thoughts about Jason Witten getting out of the Monday Night Football booth there, pal?
Well, as we work this little test out to make sure our feed is working, um, I'm just gonna go ahead and say I would like to thank Jason Garrett for doing something for the first time in my life that I believe is actually a positive. He got rid of he helped us get rid of what's his name? What's the guy's name? What's this fool's name?
J-
Witten. Yeah,
Jason Witten.
he got him out the booth. So I'm freaking ecstatic.
Man,
I
these
really am.
marks in Dallas are pretty sure we're gonna win the Super Bowl now, and that always gets me in trouble because you know how I feel about Jason Witten.
How do you feel about him? You don't like him?
He is a absolutely without a doubt above average football player, but he is highly overrated.
Well, let me just say
And
one.
so and so that's a guy that you need on your football team. And okay, he's a good character guy. He's lunch pail white dude, whatever. But he's 36. He's going to be 37, and that's just not going to work for me.
Well, I'm just very happy he is out of the Monday Night Football booth, and we can go back to
That
enjoying
that
commentary
whole
on Monday
three
Night
man
Football.
booth, that whole 3-man booth that they put together was an abortion, pal.
I think Joe Tessitore was fine. All right, we're
Nah,
getting some feedback. Jose Corona says we're all the way live. Samuel Paget says, "Why are you going to censor Doc? Because you can't see it, Doc. You've got your mask on in the live feed. You're
well,
going back
here's the
to
other thing. Let me speak directly to these people because I heard there was a bunch of chatter because I wasn't able to join on the last Saturday night show, and people like just when it's you and
they
Harper.
fucking loved it. They loved it. They loved it.
Let me
Tell them, Philip Allen.
let me educate all of you on everything. That's not how this show works best. The show works best when there's all three of us, and Mike may not cop to it here, but the show doesn't work best when it's just me and Mike. The show doesn't work best when it's Mike and Harper. The show works best when it's all three of us riffing and playing off each other because we've developed a rhythm. That's how this thing works. That's how it's gonna work. So don't be stupid over there in the Facebook group. Just enjoy what you're getting for $2 a month.
Okay.
Bro, are you gonna go to the store between now and Monday night and get some no-dos?
That's a good point. Let me get back to what you were saying. First off, Jason Witten, thank you, Jason Garrett, for hiring that guy and getting him out of retirement. Good God, thank you so much. I know this is a wrestling podcast, but holy crap, Monday Night Football. He was a train wreck, and no one wanted to listen to him. So let me get that out the way. So
Okay.
thank you, Jason. Thank you, Jason Garrett. And just so you know, Doc hates the re-signing. He hates the fact that Garrett Witten has come out of retirement. So let's get that out the way. The other thing is, you, I hate to tell you when you're right, but there is something to the three of us, me, you, and Harper, doing the show because it's a lot of fun. I don't have to do everything. I hate to say it like that because I'm not trying to put myself over, but it's like when it's only two of us, I think we miss a lot of things, meaning that you say something, Doc, and then I say something, and when it's just the two of us, and then we don't have Harper to chime in. Whereas also when it's just me and Harper, Like me and I'll say something, Harper will say something, and then I don't have you to lob Harper some stuff that will send him down the damn Garfish route.
Do you want me to tell everybody the dirty little secret that I found out after listening to that show?
What's that?
Harper loves to give Mike one-word answers to questions. And that's not what anybody needs from Harper. Everybody needs Harper to expound upon his opinions on things. And for some reason, I don't know what it is, Harper, I could get Harper talking about stuff, and he was just giving you, nah. You have anything with this match? No. Harper, got anything on this interview? Not really.
The funny part about Harper, but you're right. I don't know if he was just tired or what, but Harper will give those one-word answers sometimes. And Marlon Miller says, we want Gomer Pyle. I agree, Marlon, we do. And Samuel Pageant said, back in the early days, Mike and Doc were too corporate. There is something to that related to the show. But Harper, it really does, he'll give those one-word answers sometimes. And the one thing that you will do, because this is actually inherently who you are, you can be a nosy person, and you can be a bit of a you like to poke the bear as it pertains to people like the T-Rex sometimes. So like you'll poke that bear and get them talking, and that same philosophy that you use with the T-Rex is what you do to Harper on the show. I don't know if do you realize it like that? You do the same thing. It's just a different type.
Everything that we talk about is unplanned, but the approach has a plan. And everybody needs to know that. This shit just doesn't fall. Everybody sitting at home thinks, I could do that. Pal, it don't work that way.
Well, you can do it. No, see, that's not true. You can do it for a week, 2, 3, a month. But I've come to realize, one, I didn't know how much work would go into podcasting. But two, I do come to realize, and here we are, we're breaking kayfabe a little bit, that Doc is a big part of the show. He aggravates the hell out of me, but don't all coworkers aggravate you? I mean, don't we all have that coworker that we can tolerate for?
We don't have to be best friends to produce the product. We just have to have the basic level of respect and all show up on time.
Which we showing up on time can be a challenge from time to time.
And well, that's the Harper challenge. Now, here's the other thing. The 3-man booth also means everybody can sit back and relax just a little bit. When it's just 2 people, you got to talk a lot, you got to cover a lot, and you got to add more. When it's 3 people, everybody gets to lay back and look for places to, like, drop a piss or drop a garfish or talk about Valentine's Day or... What was it that Harper couldn't say in the last one? The jive tones, or what was it that he couldn't say in the last episode?
What was he saying that he couldn't say well?
Shasta. He kept calling him Shasta.
To y'all out there, I'm looking at y'all now on the chat window. I appreciate everybody who's chatting with us right now because it's telling me that the stream is working fine as we're 8.5 minutes into this. So thank you. But yeah, Harper, if y'all notice. Yes, Samuel Pageant. Harper cannot say Valentine's Day. He only says Valentine's Day. And I know it's not a mistake and not a faux pas because he has said this now for how many years, Doc?
All of them since he started. There's 2 things in life that are guaranteed to make me laugh every time, year after year. One is when Kurt Angle comes out and the people sing "You Suck," and the other is Harper saying Valentine's Day. So let me get over to the other thing. Are you going to have to do some lines, some rails, some crush up some no-dos and snort them, or how are you going to handle 3 hours of Raw on Monday night, pal? Because last Monday night, you and I both were fighting sleep.
Yeah. So let's be honest with everybody out there listening. We only got 16 people, but hell, it's more than I thought for this. You know, because we didn't announce we were going to do this. So I only said this on the Facebook group maybe 20 minutes ago that I would do a test. So there's that. How am I going to handle it? SV Pageant said he doesn't think we'll make it. I think he said we wouldn't make it past the first segment. He said that's what he said. $10 says you don't make it past the first segment.
We'll make it. Here's the thing. I firmly believe we'll make it 2 full hours, but that third hour is a wild card. That's where the bet is. Well, man, we'll start cracking each other up and taking questions from people and all that shit enough that we'll make it 2 hours.
Well, the beauty, see,
But
that's the beauty of going live on YouTube, Doc, is I've got the live stream up and I can
yeah,
see when the guys ask the question. So like, you know, right now
we
someone
could. Someone can ask us what I think of Sasha Banks's horse-headed weave or whatever, that she looks like a fucking rat in the face or whatever. We'll just work with that.
do you have to act like that all the time?
I do. I do. She's not a pretty female. I don't
She
know what you
is
want me to say.
she is phenomenal. She is all the way live. All the way live.
Hey,
Hey,
let me ask you something, and this is a little snippet of the kind of things that we'll probably get to on Monday. Every time you see the commercial for that movie about Paige, do you think about something else?
nah, I kind of got past that. I know what you're talking about, where the whole thing with the belt.
Yeah, but did you ever see her get double teamed by Xavier Woods and Brad
I
Maddox? Like,
saw the video. I'm ashamed to say I saw that, and I don't know
yeah.
if I was ready when it popped up. Like I thought when people said that video, like she had videos that came out. I guess I thought I was expecting just nudes. Like so, you click on a link because you see it on Twitter. Yeah, kids, look, I'll be honest with it. I clicked on it. All right, and you click on it, and then you see
She was
this.
getting she was getting jackhammered by Xavier. Yeah.
It just was like wow. And then like, look, man.
How come she can be an on-air role, but China can't be in the Hall of Fame?
Well, China is in the Hall of Fame now, technically with DX,
Okay.
which is now you want to talk about some corporate BS? That's some corporate BS.
Okay.
Think about that. They get her in, but they get her in with a faction
Sure, why not? They
because
fired Arn. I don't care what they do now.
they couldn't get
That's
her
gonna be a
in.
that's gonna be a big player on Monday night. This shit wouldn't have happened if Arn was there, and it would have happened because Arn's been there for 18 years. But you know what I mean.
Uh,
Here's the other problem. Here's the other problem we're running up against on Monday, just to break kayfabe on these people a little bit. So I'm going to be back in Central Florida, Northern Florida, actually. I guess I
doing
don't know
missionary
Florida too
work.
well. No, for some big time BTT wrestling business. But Doc's not the best flyer in the world. I don't like to be on airplanes. So I'm going to be taking some Xanax, and then I'm going to have Xanax hangover when Raw starts, which probably is like reverse no-dos. So I may have to like get some Florida yayo cocaine and like snort that shit up so that I'm ready to
That's
roll.
nice, Doc. You're on a live broadcast. You just said that. Not that saying it on the normal show is any better or worse.
Allegedly, right?
Yeah, I guess allegedly. A couple days. Hey, man, we got some topics here on this chat. So one is I've been told this a few times by a few people. Kenta says, "Wait, Mike was Dave Attell this whole time." I had to get somebody to send me a picture of Dave Attell because I was like,
You do look like Dave. That's a good one. You do look like David Tell. David Tell's a funny motherfucker too. Oh wait, I can't say that, can I?
"Well, I guess you can." It's just that we got to
If I
kind of
can't
watch it,
curse, if I can't curse, this Monday Night Raw thing
bruh.
is going to be a
You
a
know,
tough road. Oh.
YouTube censors people to. Oh, man, that's a whole nother topic I don't want to get into. Let's see. Shard said something else. Will the listeners make it through Raw? Well, that's not the one I was looking for. Here's the one. Shard, who named what did Shard name on the Smoky Mountain show?
Government cheese, I
Government
believe.
cheese. He said, I would rather jack my clock with a handful of sand spurs than 3 hours of Raw. Man, he's
I think
on
he
to
means
something.
cock instead of clock, but he's an hour later, which means it's 6 o'clock on the East Coast, right? So he's already probably half drunk and
Yeah.
smoked 10 blunts. Dude, I just had a Moscow Mule. Do you know what that is?
A what?
A Moscow Mule?
No, I've no idea. What is it?
You see, boy, you're gonna. Here comes the race card for against white people from
Oh,
you.
Jesus. Here we go.
You get these special like copper mugs, and you get them real cold, and then you put a couple ounces of whiskey in there, You mix it with some ginger beer, which is kind of like ginger ale, but just a little bit different. Splash a couple of limes in that son bitch. It's a tasty little drink. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna go have about 8 more of them when we get done with this.
Okay, I might drink me a little Hennessy tonight and smoke me a Black and Mild. What you
Yeah,
think about that?
I'm gonna be kicking it. I'm gonna be laying straight back, man. It's the Mavericks tonight. Luca. My name is Luca. I
Hey,
live on the second floor.
what time do the Mavs come on?
7:30 probably.
Yeah, well, that sounds about right. I got something else here on this chat window, and I apologize, y'all. It's a little hard to keep track of all this while I'm trying to talk to Doc as well.
Come on.
So where was it at? The person who said I look like Dave Attell. Who did I say that was,
Yeah,
Doc?
you do. Huh?
Um,
What?
who did I say that was that said that?
I don't
It was. I think it
remember,
was
but
Kenta.
David.
It was Kenta. That's who it
Yeah,
was.
that's right. David Till had a joke. He goes, "I don't like the term rape. It seems too tough. I like the term surprise sex."
That's nice, Doc. Come on, man. Yeah, Kenta. Is it? I guess that's the first time you've seen a picture of me. Even I guess that would be right because we don't really post the.
You're an ugly motherfucker. That's the problem.
Well, I mean, it happens, and that was a classless joke that you also just said as well. I mean, let's not, forget about that either. Doc, did you see the? I did want to talk to you about something. See, this is funny because Doc and I actually have conversations all the time that are never recorded. I mean, this is actually nothing new at all to us. Did you see the tweet?
Shoot promos are cut daily where we
Um,
live.
my God, you guys
Happy
truly have no
birthday,
idea.
everyone.
Yeah. So, did you see the Ronda Rousey tweet
I
responded?
did not, but I can't wait till Monday night so I can talk about how overrated she is.
Overrated who is?
Ronda Rousey.
Well, let's just go there now. But I mean, what are we waiting on? Why is she
Well,
overrated?
I don't have Raw in front of her, but man, she wears me the fuck out.
What are you talking about?
She's just flat chested and over angry and just this whole thing does nothing for me, man. I want to see Becky Lynch and Charlotte and hell even Sasha and Bailey get it on.
I'm a little amazed right now that you just somehow don't like Sasha. I mean, don't like Rousey.
Not
Don't you
not at all.
like the fact
Like,
that she's not scripted?
not really, because she seems like she still seems fake mad, because real mad means she'd just whoop somebody, and she can't do that, so she didn't really know how to like work. I don't know. She just doesn't do anything for me.
Uh,
Charlotte, on the other hand, is amazing, and Becky Lynch is the best. Becky Lynch is the best female in that division. How
well,
about that?
so this is why I said that they were going back and forth and
So see, here's the thing. There will be people. I think people need to understand this. We're probably going to bury just about every creative decision we lay eyes on Monday night.
that's you. I
But
won't.
there's a lot of talent that'll probably get put over more than I think people are expecting. Like talent that either shines through shitty creative or would be really good given some good creative.
So let me tell you why I disagree with you with Ronda. Ronda is not the cookie cutter. I trained you in NXT. Here's how to cut a promo. Here's what you do. Here's what you say. You follow the script word for word. All right. So you gotta realize that when you're watching Ronda, when she was out there fumbling through her words with Steph, that's what made it quote unquote real. It's all a work, but bear with me here. So Ronda on Twitter, Becky and Ronda were going back and forth on Twitter about various things. And one of the last things Becky said was, keep that F word out of your mouth and concentrate on getting better at this business instead of trying to remain above it. Looking forward to seeing you real soon. Ronda's reply was, F word, you mean fake? Fake like your nonsensical BS armbar that doesn't even work and just looks like you're holding the dick you wish you had? That was Ronda's reply to Becky on Twitter. Now, Sam, I know you didn't like it. I saw your post on Facebook. Look, I can always agree to disagree with folks. I at least applaud the effort of Ronda here, and they're just kind of going off script, obviously, on Twitter. That is by no means, up to par with standards and practices by when Ronda tells Becky, your finisher looks like you're holding a dick you wish you had. That was pretty vicious. Doc, your thoughts on that? Come on, bruh.
Hey, you came out on our show and used up valuable airtime to say that you thought the Ric Flair birthday was okay.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You're giving away something that's on the Patreon episode. And I did not say that. I said it was fine, but it was the wrong people involved. I thought that angle, what they did was shocking enough. I don't like the fact that Triple H had to use that to set up his angle in his match for WrestleMania. That's what I said. So if you do that with anyone else, and I don't have it in my mind. I'm not Jim Cornette where I can lay this stuff out word for word like he can. But my point is, it was fine, but come on. It just felt like another grab for Triple H to put himself over, to get his angle over. And I know that's the point of wrestling. You know, he's there to get his angle over. I'm just like, dude, did we really have to go there? Is this what we really had to do? Is your ego that much that you had to ruin Flair's birthday bash? That was my point. I'm not saying I liked it. I'm just saying it was fine. It's just the people involved. I totally wish it wouldn't have went the way it went. Again, Triple H just can't get out of his own way. As he makes $1.7 million a year and is much well off than I ever will be. No, that was my thoughts. So I don't agree with what you just said.
Okay.
So we're getting a lot of chat, which we're up to 21 people. Wow. This is a good thing. I wonder how many people are going to stick with us. What do they call it in corporate America, Doc? What type of retention rate will we have? You know, we'll have like
what's our cost of customer acquisition?
Well, wait, can you imagine, like, okay, there's almost 3,000 people who sub on the YouTube channel. Now you got some bots in there and whatnot, but you're up to almost 3,000. So let's say you get 1,000 to tune in live, because let's face it, it's not easy to get people to tune in live. You get 1,000 to tune in live. I'm sorry, 100 to tune in live. What do you think the retention rate, if we can go 3 hours, will be? Like, how many people by the time you get to hour 3 would still be listening to the BS we'd be spitting out over Monday Night Raw?
Listening to my wisdom on the current product, I'd say 100%, pal.
Okay. If you say so.
I'm feeling good about my skills.
Doc, Marlon Miller wants to know, what do you think about Asuka? Did you even watch SmackDown enough to even have an opinion on that?
Is that Japanese girl?
I was about to hang up on you if you said what I thought you were going to say, you son of a bitch. She is the Japanese girl, yes. Lady.
I'm going to shoot straight with everybody here. I don't know enough to have an informed opinion. How about that?
That's a fair point. Marlon, I like Asuka. I think they basically...
Here's the thing. Here's what people don't realize, and some do. Some will. I don't watch every week, and when I do, there's 2 kids running around. So even if I'm watching like a Mavericks game tonight or something else, you don't really... When you got a 2 small kids under the age of 7, you're not really watching it. The only thing I watch is like Cowboy games. And a lot of times, Mrs. Duck gets the kids out of the house. So I don't get a chance to just sit down. And you got to understand, when you got a 6-year-old boy watching wrestling with you these days, it is a list of questions.
Yeah.
Now, what I do think because like last Monday night, he's like, did Becky Lynch really get arrested? Yep. She's in jail, son. She has a record now.
It's a shoot, brother.
Prison girls make better lovers. No, I think I've seen a couple of her matches, and I just can't see her getting over in the WWE because she's not going to be a diva. And no matter if they say divas or not, that's really what they want.
You mean Asuka when you say she?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Probably.
Yeah, I don't. I think they damaged her the way when they got her out of what's that?
But I don't.
NXT.
But I don't know any of the strokes. I just can't see them doing good things with somebody like that, right?
Yeah. It's like the thing about, I oftentimes get questions too about like Raw. Like, well, you're saying you don't watch it. How do you know? Well, with Twitter and the clips that you see, that's like how I actually kind of stay in tune with what they're doing, and it's hard doing that, to be honest with you. I mean, it's the only way to do it.
I'm right there with Jim Cornette. It took him less than 2 weeks to make Ricochet just. They rounded all the rough edges off of him and just made him a corporate toady. He's so uninterested now.
You don't like,
Jesus.
but you don't. Have you ever liked Ricochet? I have. That's what I'm asking.
I think he's a little overrated. How about that? I like to use that word. Like he's good, don't get me wrong, but I don't. It doesn't do much for me. I think if I'm gonna look at that tag team, I'm more interested in Aleister Black. But
Nah,
you know,
yeah, he's damn good. And see, here's the difference between Doc and I. I don't follow NXT weekly. Never have. Anthony Ricochet is small, but my complaint with him, not complaint, but like just the he's an acrobat. I mean, he's so phenomenal in what
that's
he can do. It's
that's my
ridiculous.
thing. It's like he's got skills, but they're not the skills I like to watch. And so Corny said it when he watched along. It was like it was two trained acrobats doing a routine together, and I don't like watching that. I like to watch somebody want to kick somebody else's ass, and then after somebody wants to get thinks that somebody wants to kick their ass, they reciprocate.
Agree. A couple of
We're getting
comments.
ready to cover Star. We're getting ready to cover Starcade, and I don't like the damn Barry Windham Doctor Death match because they're being too nice to one another.
I think people are going to be mad at us. So let me read a couple of things, and I'll mention something about Starcade. So remind me. Lee says on the chat, the shows are pretty much designed to be unwatchable. I actually agree with that. He goes on to say that's why they have all those highlighted clips on their YouTube to watch, easier to digest in that form. That is 100% true. They put it in a
I,
bite-sized form on YouTube and on Twitter for you to follow along that way because
I don't even know what that means, but let me tell you something.
he's right
If
though.
okay, I'm not saying he's wrong. I don't know, but what I do know is that if I don't like week to week to week recaps from Smoky Mountain, what do you think I'm going to say about before the commercial break? This just happened.
No, let me tell y'all a story that happened on Raw last week. As Doc was watching with Little Latrell, we were watching and we got like an hour into it. This is where we were starting to like figure out, maybe we should do a live stream on this stuff and just BS through it.
Because we
And
were shoot promo and on this through text.
we
Like,
cut promos through text message for an hour and a half before we gave up. So Doc, they come back from commercial and they had just shown, I don't remember which segment it was or match. And they come back commercial and in the minute, the first thing they show, Doc goes, Jesus fucking Christ, man. You just showed me this, and now I need to get a 45-second to 1 minute recap of what I just saw. If that's not the epitome and shining example of I need to fill up 3 hours of time, there's nothing else that is. Agreed?
my thing was to send a couple of good workers out there to eat up innings like a fucking third or fourth starter in the major leagues. At least I get to see that.
Yeah. Enhancement talent matches, all that good stuff. Okay, hold on. A couple more.
Okay.
Sam Padgham. I imagine Becky would get passed around in the ladies' prison. How many packs of ramen do you think she's worth? Damn.
I think if she was in that prison, Harper and I'd be putting in applications to be prison guards, pal.
Richard Leslie talking about Ricochet. He worked for him when he was Prince Puma. He was good as Prince Puma. He was also really, really good in New Japan. Let's see. Who else we got here? Let me keep going because there was Josh Fields. He's a BTT Hall of Famer. Doc, what do you think of the Pritchard Conrad work? We didn't talk about that, so I do want your thoughts on that.
Well, you said let's BS some if nobody is on just to test the thing. So that was going to be the thing we didn't get to that I was going to talk about. I think it's funny because apparently I haven't heard the show yet, but Bruce is saying like they're going to keep doing the podcast. And that has to be some kind of bone he's throwing to Conrad for getting him back into the spotlight. But that shit over time will go away. They're not going to do any more live shows.
Well, how does Bruce find the time to cut a 4.5 hour, 3.5 hour podcast while he's working for Vince? And look, don't look. Somebody asked this to me on a Facebook group earlier today, and we were talking about it. And I don't really listen to Pritchard anymore. The whole WWE era that he mostly covers is just not interesting to me. I do listen to some 83 Weeks, especially when they're talking about pre-Monday Night War stuff, because I find that stuff intriguing and interesting. And I actually like Conrad. You're the one with the issue with Conrad, even though you listen to all 18 hours of his programming every week. But how does going back to the point, how does Bruce even find the time to cut a podcast while he's working for Vince McMahon? That's my question.
You used to say that me and Denham Fritz are the same person, but I heard Conrad talking about how Stan Lane looked like a little Lex Luger. I'm starting to think me and Conrad are the same person.
Okay, so you're not Denim Fritz anymore?
I never was.
Okay. Well, so we got an exclusive on the YouTube channel. Doc is not Denim Fritz. So are you saying
Denim Fritz likes the Redskins, pal? That was your clue right there.
So a question then
I
is,
hope their team plane crashes, and I hope it crashes into the Eagles practice facility when they're there.
That's nice.
I could kill two birds with one plane. No, I think you better, if you're a fan of something to wrestle with, you better start cherishing every episode, because that shit's on life support, no matter what they're saying.
So you never answered the question though. Is it a work?
I don't know if it's a work, but here's what I heard. I read some article that said that was Vince's way of tapping back at Conrad, because Conrad booked the Undertaker to work his WrestleCade or whatever, and that Vince wasn't happy about that shit.
Man, that sounds like some internet bullshit. Just come on, man. You can't believe that. Like,
I don't care if I believe it or not. To be fair, I don't give a shit.
What BS news site reported that? I'm just curious.
I don't even remember, man.
Okay, because
I ain't trying to get in everybody else's podcast business. I'm just trying to make sure that we keep. We just out here doing us, you know.
That's exactly what you do, though.
Wait, what do you mean? How so?
As a shoot. Now let's go down the list. You listen to Something to Wrestle every week. That's about 4 hours. You listen to Shivani every week, depending on the topic.
I listen to Shivani every week. That's true.
You listen to 83 weeks. So right there, we're at 4, 7, 10 hours. We're at 10 hours just on Conrad Podcast.
I listen to 83 weeks most of the time.
Okay. So we're at 10 hours of just Conrad Podcast right there. Keep going. What else do you listen to? Tell the army out there. They want to know.
I'm about halftime, depending on the guest, on Jericho, because he does some musical guests that I'm interested in, and then he has some wrestling stuff, and then some of that paranormal stuff is just too goofy. I do Fuller, the Studcast. That's just getting good too, because he just bought Continental or Southeastern, so in Knoxville. Yeah. So that story is really heating up. So I listen to that.
Yeah, buddy.
I do listen about 75% of the time to Jerry Jarrett's podcast.
See, I don't listen. I don't listen to Jerry, but yeah, Ron Fuller. I love Ron Fuller. He's like listening to you, Grandpa.
I do listen to the 605, but like I still have the last one that came out that's like 4 hours long saved, and I haven't gotten to it. I listen to both corny shows.
Mid-South.
But I listen to y'all's Mid-South, but God almighty, y'all need to develop some personality. Shit, man. Y'all two wrestling historians need either me or Harper or both of us. Jesus Christ.
Can you imagine Harper taking a Mid-South show off the rails? Because like Brian and I never really get off the rails. We get a little off topic, but we never get off the rails like Harper does.
Y'all two are like Are y'all recording? Yeah. Oh, Mrs. Doc's here.
Hey, Mrs. Doc, how are you? Welcome to the show. Put her on air. Put her on live, Doc.
Oh, what do you want to say to the people? We're live streaming.
Hey,
y'all lying ass. I thought y'all were just testing something. I was not informed of a tonight.
See, they hate it.
They hate it. The broads hate it, dude. I love it. Look. Hey, dude, tell her the people on the chat window are saying, "Hi, LaFonda. How are you?"
Oh, the people out on the internet call you LaFonda from Napoleon Dynamite, and they all want to say hi to you.
If the people on the internet had actually seen me, they would not call me that.
Okay. Hold on.
While he's talking, I'm telling y'all, he outkicked his coverage, man. Doc's wife is like a 20 on a scale of 1 to 10. Richard Leslie, God, she sounds like a pain in his ass.
Some of that's a work too, because she saw the red line on. So she likes to spin all these marks up.
You heard
because let me tell you what she was coming in here to do. She was trying to figure out what my input was on dinner. So I said I want to eat it. So why don't you produce some?
You heard what she said though when she said, "Oh, you're recording? You told me you were just coming in here to test something." They hate it, bro. They really hate it.
Oh, they do. That's the truth. If you hit them with that truth serum, they'd be like, "Oh, I like to be supportive of my man," and then you say, "But they do it too much. It's just too much."
One more question, Doc. Does she know how much you have bitched about her on the show?
Probably not. But I'd probably just tell her. She knows she spends too much money.
Someone was just asking for Sasha. She's in the other room. I don't feel like dealing with her.
She probably drink. She's the only sister out there that'll drink like oatmeal cookie vodka, and she act like Becky from down at the sorority, white girl sorority.
There was I sent her this link today. There was a report online of what the WWE talent makes, and like Brock I don't believe these figures, but somebody out there reported it. So anyway, for conversation purposes, Brock was apparently making like 12 million, and then he went through all the men, and the women were like making hardly anything, and some of the women on the roster were like making 100,000 or less a year. And she got all hot. She was like, "Oh my God, that's not fair. Oh my God, and Natty only makes this, and Bailey only makes this, and what kind of BS is that?" I mean, she got hot. So all because she saw what the women made, and they didn't make enough money for her. Which it was pretty bad, man. Some of the women...
Maybe they get paid by the pound. Maybe Nia Jax makes more.
No, actually, she was fairly low paid from... according to this report. I don't believe this report has actual figures, but I do believe they are paid less than the men. So if you want to look at it in that way. Doc, before we get out of here and wrap this thing up...
Maybe they should try drawing some money.
Okay. Before we get out of here, I got something for you. Here it is.
All right, I got to get going here because this dinner is...
What happens if she gets on the court against... I don't know, Djokovic or Rafael Nadal or Roger Federer? What happens? Who's taking a piss?
Hopper's over there.
Oh, God. God. Hit the mute button, you savage.
You all right?
Jesus.
How many gallons?
Be blessed and be a blessing.
Exactly.
Oh, Jesus.
How many gallons?
Now that we got that out the way.
What do you want to bet that toilet he's pissing in hadn't been cleaned properly since 2016?
Yeah, right. I can't stand a dirty toilet. Fuck that.
Hopper, we learned tonight that Hopper likes a clean toilet.
I can't stand that shit. How hard is
You make your mom clean it? You make your mom clean it once a week?
No.
Sounds like he does the clean.
All right, one more time.
What happens if she gets on the court against, I don't know, Djokovic or Rafael Nadal or Roger Federer? What happens? Who's taking a piss?
Hopper's over there.
Oh, God. God. Hit the mute button, you savage.
You all right?
Jesus. Doc, do you believe that happened?
How many gallons of piss do you think have been squirted out of our bodies during the 4 years we've been doing this show?
Well, I really can't leave because I'm like manning the controls, so I just make sure.
Well, I drink heavily, and I can tell you, I piss if I'm getting my groove on a Wednesday night recording, I may piss 3 to 4 times during that show.
That many times?
Yeah.
Now, but the difference between you and Hopper is you'll leave your computer right there, take your headset off, and hit the mute button and go walk 10 steps and take a piss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hopper.
Now, I have taken my computer in there to drop a couple of deuces over the last 4 years, but that's a different story.
Well, we will do it all. Hopper. And then he went on to say, you know how hard it is to take a piss while you're holding your laptop? So then I have this visual of this jackass standing there with his laptop in his arm, taking a leak. Beautiful stuff, man. Beautiful stuff. So, all right, Doc, we're winding this thing down.
I'm willing to take one more question, and then we got to go.
Yeah, how many questions are out there? What do we have? Let me make sure I didn't miss anything.
One more.
From anybody out there.
One.
Yeah, so we had one for where is Sasha, which I already answered that. We already, yeah, it looks like we already had. Someone did recommend, it looks like Jose, a bunch of people, actually Jose did. He wanted,
Orderly.
he wanted to know
Viva la
when,
raza.
okay, he wanted to know when the BTT Broads episodes part 3 was coming out. We didn't do part 2. Oh, he said no, part 2. BTT Broads part 2.
The day after never.
Well, and here's the thing: if you're on Patreon or a Podream patron, my wife and I actually did one on the Women's Royal Rumble 2018 last year. So if you haven't listened to that, I'd recommend you go do so. We did live commentary. We watched that actual hour-long match, and we did that. So here's a question: does Barry Manilow know you raid his wardrobe? Oh, I know why. I know why he's asking that. I'm guessing because the graphic that I have up is Les Thatcher, but it's your head over his body with his brown coat in Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
That's not me, asshole.
Anthony, don't take him to heart, man. He's just messing with you. Any other questions out there before Doc decides to hit the go-home cue and ride off into the sunset, brother? I can't do that.
I came in here without a drink, man. It's 6 o'clock on a Saturday night, or 5:30. I need to get myself started lubricating up, man.
For the Mavs, in case they lose, what are you getting lubricated for?
Just to try to forget some of my troubles.
Okay. All right. Well, it's time to get out of here. We appreciate everybody who came along for the live Raw test for Monday night. Doc, I don't know how we're gonna do it. I do not know if do you think we're gonna make it through hour 2? Let me ask that.
Yeah. I think we'll make it to about halfway through hour 3. And what we're going to do is, should we continue on and realize that whatever they have planned for the last half hour is not worth staying up any longer? That's what I think is going to happen.
I'm not optimistic I'll make it past hour 1.
You will. We're going to be hanging and banging.
When they get to that 60-minute mark, I hit fatigue. And honestly, the only thing that brings me maybe back to that third hour is just to see if they've got something cooking, like with this last week with Flair. Other than that, they get that 60 minutes, in between 60 and that last 30 minutes of the show is just, I mean, my head's hitting the desk, bro. I can't, I don't know, man. So
we'll be hanging and banging. It'll be fun. All right,
well,
everybody.
Harper's not here. Doc, hit that tagline and tell the folks we're going home.
Book it, bitch.